Boulder, Colorado, the latest crime scene in the fallout of Biden's open border chaos. Plus, Scott Bessent shuts down the media's economic spin. Welcome to the Kerri Lane Show. I'm Kerri Lane. So much to get to today with some breaking news. Let's go ahead and jump right in. We are learning more about the terror attack in Boulder. The suspect, 45-year-old Egyptian national Mohamed Soliman. Now, he is charged with federal hate crimes. That is according to the federal court filings you see there on your screen. Now, Soliman admitted in a post-arrest interview that he wanted to eliminate all Zionists and that he planned the attack for a year. So why now? He said he was waiting for his daughter to graduate and also told authorities he'd do it again. Now, he found the group online, stalked them, and showed up waiting for them. That's premeditation. Police found 14 more Molotov cocktails nearby, and inside his car, they found notes referencing Israel, Palestine, and USAID. The White House is now responding.
This terrorist came into our country under the previous administration. Joe Biden's administration foolishly gave him a tourist visa and that allowed him to unlawfully remain in our country. This individual should have been deported. Instead, he was welcomed here. And now, 3 years later, after coming to this country under Joe Biden's administration, he is lighting Jewish people on fire who were simply trying to peacefully pay respect to the hostages in Israel. This absolutely is an act of targeted terrorism. The FBI and the Department of Justice are investigating it as such, and the president is going to ensure that this individual is held to the fullest extent of the law.
As Caroline Levitt pointed out, this man came in on a tourist visa, overstayed, and then the Biden administration rewarded him with work papers in 2023, which quietly expired this March. This isn't just some isolated incident. He lit 6 people on fire between the ages of 52 and 88. And this kind of politically motivated violence is becoming an all too familiar trend.
A week and a half ago, 2 people walking out of the Capitol Jewish Museum shot in the back. The assailant fired more than 20 bullets at this couple and murdered them in cold blood. And 6 weeks ago, the governor of Pennsylvania had his house firebombed. And in all of these cases, the assailants, they said, free Palestine, or I'm doing it for Gaza, or yesterday in Boulder, I want to end Zionists. If you are so deranged that you think firebombing elderly people is a political statement, and leaders here don't have the courage to call it out, my God, these people are hopeless.
Let's be clear. No one on the right is firebombing senior citizens, burning homes, or gunning down innocent people in the streets. It's time the left stands up and condemns this evil with the same passion they reserve for stopping deportations. Now, let's see how the media decided to spin this, because that's always entertaining to look at. CBS called it an attack at a march. 6 people set on fire, and that's their headline. No mention of terrorism, no mention of an illegal immigrant. Reuters? Not any better. They said a man attacked a crowd with firebombs. Man or illegal foreign national extremist? Then there was MSNBC yesterday, who was quick to wrongly identify the man as a white male, but refused to comment on his intentions because it was way too early in the investigation.
As far as the investigation itself, we're still trying to verify and confirm some video, but it appears to show a significant portion of the incident as it happened. There's an individual that's taken into custody. He's a white male. Whether or not that's the person that police ultimately arrested and will ultimately charge in this crime, a bit of a question at this time, but that's just what we've seen so far.
This is what happens when corporate media values narrative over truth. The man yelled anti-Israel slogans. It's on video. But if no official confirms it, they pretend it didn't happen. Real quick, if you're getting value from this channel, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Okay, here are some facts the media most likely will ignore. According to the Anti-Defamation League, there were 9,354 anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. in 2024. That is a 5% increase from 2023. But what's even more concerning is it's a 344% increase in the past 5 years and an 893% increase over the past decade. It is time for both parties to condemn these acts with one strong voice, because this cannot continue. Meantime, ICE Director Todd Lyons, he came out swinging during a press conference where he was asked why his agents are wearing masks. Watch this.
A lot of agencies were invited to come out 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles where we ran an operation where ICE officers were doxxed. So let's just say that again. People are out there taking photos of the names, their faces, and posting them online with death threats to their family and themselves. So I'm sorry if people are offended by them wearing masks, but I'm not going to let my officers and agents go out there and put their lives on the line and their family on the line because people don't like what immigration enforcement is. They are wearing those masks because we ran an operation with the Secret Service where we arrested someone that was going online, taking their photos, posting their families, their kids' Instagram, their kids' Facebooks, and targeting them. So let me ask, is that the issue here, that we're just upset about the masks? Or is anyone upset with the fact that ICE officers' families were labeled terrorist?
Again, this extreme behavior seems to be happening only on one side of the aisle, and it's dangerous. Now let's shift to the economy, where voters are finally waking up.
The party that is closest to your economic views. In November of 2023, it was the Republicans by 11 points. Now it's still within that range, still within that margin of error. Plus 8-point advantage for the Republican Party. How is that possible, Democrats? How is that possible after all the recession fears, after the stock market's been doing all of this, after all the tariffs that Americans are against, and Republicans still hold an 8-point lead on the economy? Are you kidding me?
This is new CNN polling.
Yes.
How is that, when we look for trends, how is that trending with other data that you're pulling in?
Yeah, if it was just this one CNN poll, that would be one thing. But take a look at Reuters Ipsos. What do we see here? Party with a better economic plan. Well, in May of 2024, just before Donald Trump was reelected president, Republicans had a 9-point advantage. Look at where we are now in May of 2025. The advantage actually went up by 3 points. Now Republicans have a 12-point advantage when it comes to the party with a better economic plan. And again, this is after months of supposed economic uncertainty in which the stock market's been going bonkers, in which the tariff wars that Americans are against have been going on. And yet, despite all of that, the Democrats are down by 12 points on the economy.
Why the shift? Because voters know they're being lied to. The media said inflation was cooling under Biden while prices were crushing families. Then the media claimed Trump's return would totally tank the economy. That hasn't happened. Scott Bessent, who has mastered the mic drop in a cool, calming manner, called them out on Face the Nation.
Where are you anticipating price increases?
Well, thus far, we wanted to make sure that there aren't price increases, Margaret, and thus far there have been no price increases. Everything has been alarmist. That the inflation numbers are actually dropping. We saw the first drop of inflation in 4 years. The inflation numbers last week, they were very pro-consumer.
Right. But you listen to earnings calls just like we do. Mm-hmm. You know what Walmart's saying, what Best Buy's saying, and what Target are saying.
But Margaret, I also know what Home Depot and Amazon are saying. I know what the South China Morning Post wrote within the past 24 hours, that 65% of the tariffs will likely be eaten by the Chinese producers.
You'd think that would end it, right? No. Margaret Brennan, she decided to double down and lost again.
Retailers are warning of price hikes. Well, when you go back to school shopping, things are going to cost more.
But Margaret, some are and some aren't. Home Depot and Amazon said they're not. And
Home Depot and Amazon aren't where you go for your back to school shopping. When you buy your jeans, when you buy your crayons, when you buy all those things that parents are going to be looking.
I don't know about you, but I do it online at Amazon. Mm-hmm. You know, this isn't an advertisement for Amazon. And guess where most of the Halloween costumes in America get bought? At Home Depot.
You would think the media would know when to take the loss. But no, Margaret goes for round 3. Roll it.
Before consumers, the reality is there will either be less inventory or things at higher prices or both.
Margaret, when we were here in March, you said there was going to be big inflation. There hasn't been any inflation. Actually, the inflation numbers are the best in 4 years. So why don't we stop trying to say this could happen and wait and see what does happen?
This is why Trump's team keeps winning. They come with receipts and they fight back. No drama, just results. And speaking of results, in just 3 months, this administration is working on a trade reset, deregulation, and pro-growth policies, which is why middle-class voters are now shifting hard to the GOP.
Historically speaking, which is the party of the middle class, has been a huge advantage for Democrats. I have polling from NBC going all the way back since 1989, when Democrats had a 23-point advantage. 2016, a 17-point advantage. But by this decade, we already started seeing declines back in 2022, where you saw that Democrats led, but only by 4 points, well within the margin of error. And now in our latest CNN poll among registered voters, which is the party of the middle class, it is tied. This, I think, speaks to Democratic ills more than anything else. They have traditionally been the party of the middle class. No more. Donald Trump and the Republican Party have taken that mantle away, and now a key advantage for Democrats historically has gone adios amigos, and now there is no party that is the party of the middle class. Republicans have completely closed the gap.
And one more issue where Republicans lead, protecting girls' sports. In California this weekend, a transgender athlete, A.B. Hernandez, a biological male, competed in the state girls track championships. Now, this created a huge uproar going into the weekend. You probably heard about it. And guess who won first place in not one, but 2 events? So Hernandez tied for first in the girls' high jump and then took the gold in the girls' long jump. But if we compare Hernandez's stats to the boys' division, we get a much different story. The athlete fell nearly 2 feet behind the last place male. Astonishing, right? As a mom of 2 young girls, I can tell you, my daughter's team, they have played against a boy in soccer, and it's not just unfair, it's intimidating to the girls. And in some sports, it's unsafe. We have our lovely governor here, Gavin Newsom in California, who claimed recently in a podcast he was against this. But yet he does nothing. He allows it to continue. So where is the leadership, Gavin? This is why the American people have lost faith in the Democratic Party, because you say one thing and you do the opposite. Now let's see if the Republicans can step up and enforce President Trump's executive order. Coming up next, Stephen Miller has been on fire lately. Wait until you see him destroy CNN. Plus, more good news on the economy and President Trump's farewell gift for Elon Musk. Go ahead, click on that video you see now on your screen, and I hope to see you over there.